This is the third and final video for Chapter 3. The cultural and social environment, both of them combined affects how and why people live and behave as they do. The choices that they make, what they do, how they do it, why they do it. This can include trends in demographics, population, income, various different sections as well. There has been a movement in regards to population growth. There's been a movement, at least in the United States, of a movement of the population going from more rural areas to more urban areas. And there has always been and will continue to be drastic changes in population for different regions all around the world. Total world population continues to grow, and there are areas in developing countries in Africa and Asia primarily that have a very high population growth rate right now. But then other countries such as Russia, Japan, over the next decade or so, their population is expected to actually decrease a little bit. So overall, the population of the world is expected to grow, but dependent upon where you're at, the population could be growing rapidly, could be declining. So you have to be aware of all of those different population patterns that are going on. Gross domestic product, gross national product, and GNI per capita. Let's start with GDP, gross domestic product, over on the right hand side of your slide. This is the total market value of all goods and services that are provided in a country's economy in 1 year. And this includes the goods and services provided by residents of the country and non-residents of the country. All right, GNI, gross national income, is it's similar to GDP, but gross national income, GNI, does not include the income earned by people who are foreigners. And those foreigners a lot of times own resources in that nation. So if we're talking about GNI for the United States, this does not include any income earned by foreigners who own resources within the United States. Okay, they're not citizens of the United States, but they do own resources in the United States. That is not included in GNI, but that is included in GDP. GNI per capita is just dividing your GNI number by the nation's population. Okay, whatever that population size, United States, 350 million, ballpark, right around there, to find out what the measure is per person. Okay, per capita is per person. When we talk about technology and technology indicators, we have to understand that, first of all, technology affects the entire world around us, and technology is a way for people to be in communication with people all across the country and all across the world. The two major technology indicators that impact marketing and marketing strategies are data on cell phones and internet usage. Now, the adoption of these technologies may have their greatest impact on the developing countries. As these developing countries get more access to the internet and cell phones eventually, there's a greater possibility for companies to market in those areas using these services, and even potentially to sell in these areas using those services as well. This map is just simply showing what the United States population was in 2010. All the numbers that you see, if you're looking at Pennsylvania, 12.5, that would be 12.5 million people in the state of Pennsylvania. And then the percentage below it would be a positive growth or a negative growth. All right, so if you're looking at the blue states are the ones that have the highest population change, the growth. The yellow is the smallest population growth, potentially even negative, such as, just looking very quickly, such as Michigan. Notice that they have negative. So as you're going through those, you can just see it's not always which states have the highest population growth or the least population growth. Sometimes you look at total numbers. It's going to all depend upon what you're looking for. Okay, you're just looking for opportunities within the market, and this is one area that you can look at. The population trends in the United States, and this is just in country here. Population trends within the United States. Population trends in the United States have a major impact on marketing decisions. The first colored section there talks about graying of America, and that's referring to the baby boomer generation, which they were born between 1946 and 1964. Now there's a difference between baby boomers and simply just referring to senior citizens. Senior citizens are people over the age of 65. The baby boomers are specifically born between 1946 and 1964 with a large population bubble in our country. And they are a very attractive market to a lot of companies and their marketing teams. Now, Generation X refers to the generation born immediately following the baby boomers. So that's from 1965 to 1977. Now, the book mentions that by 2010, this group fell mostly between the ages of 30 and 44. And this age group had a 6.1% decline in its numbers between 2000 and 2010. So this one is dropping off by about 6% per 10 years. Now that's going to increase as this generation gets older as well. Generation Y, which is often called millennials, refers to those born from 1978 to 1994. This group emerged from the eco-boom and is generally larger in number than Generation X. This is the first group that really grew up with technology as a regular portion or part of their life. Generation Z refers to those born since 1995, so 95 to the present. This is still a young group that you are a part of, so this is kind of still, they're trying to get the idea of exactly who this is. One negative attribute of this generation that a lot of professionals are labeling is that this is a lazy generation. Generation Z is a lazy generation, and they're losing a lot of personal skills due to the fact of the technology, the texting, and all of that. So that's just something to keep in mind as we move forward. Screening criteria. Marketers must develop and apply some sort of screening criteria. Quantitative criteria includes things like sales, profits, return on investments, financial goals, things like that. Whenever I talk about return on investment, I may refer to just ROI as an abbreviation for that. Qualitative criteria summarizes what businesses that you actually want to be in, what industries you want to be in, and what strengths and trends you want to use as your baseline as well. Many organizations screen opportunities based upon what's called sustainability, and that is the idea that it's important to meet present needs, which is obviously critical, but not compromising the ability of future generations to meet their own needs. It's got to be able to be sustained over a long period of time. The whole marketing plan should be evaluated against both qualitative and quantitative criteria. Now, these two graphs show a period of 5 years. If you're looking at the horizontal axis, the 1 through 5 will represent the years. The vertical axis will represent the dollars in sales. Product A on the left has a very high startup cost. Okay, Product A has a high startup cost. The red line starts much higher. Product B earns profits within 1 year. But what you have to realize, if you're looking short term, within 2 years, Product B looks to be much better if you're looking just short term. Product A, you don't break even until year 2. Okay, so you're losing money the first 2 years. But if you're looking at the long haul, the sustainability here, the long haul, as the sales keep going up, as the sales keep going up and the total costs level out in product A, the profit margin is considerably higher for product A in years 3, 4, 5, and on than compared to product B. So which one, in your opinion, is the better opportunity? The one that makes money quicker, or the one that has potentially more sustainability over the long haul? Okay, which one would you choose? It's totally up to you. Can you afford to postpone the profits for 2 years and have more startup costs to be able to have greater profits, years 3, 4, 5, 10, 15 down the road? This is the General Electric strategic planning grid. This you need to know. This is very, very important. Right? This grid helps managers to summarize the interaction of some key factors identified by the company that are very important to be successful in any kind of business venture. The green is a go, the yellow is, in essence, proceed with caution, and the red means stay away from it. Okay, do not even consider moving on. And the two major factors that they're considering here are industry attractiveness and business strengths. Industry attractiveness is simply based on characteristics such as the industry size, the growth, the competition, competitive structure, all that kind of stuff. Business strengths include the resources that the organization has, such as people, like employees, their skills, the technology that they have available, the business's growth, the market share that they have, profitability, and you can keep going on and on. Now, the green area of this matrix are growth opportunities and should definitely be pursued, if at all possible. Okay, they're very attractive opportunities within the industry and fit the company's current strengths. The opportunities that are in the red area are ones that the firm and the company need to avoid. These are just a bad fit for the company's strengths. They're not really strong in this area, and the industry itself is not very appealing. In the middle, which you have the yellow areas, the diagonal section going up from left to right. These are borderline opportunities that you want to analyze a little bit more detailed. Is this something that you really want to do? Is this something that is beneficial for you? It may turn into something good, it may turn into something bad, but you need more data and more information on this one before you proceed. The continuum of environmental sensitivity. Marketers have to continuously evaluate risks that are associated with everything that they do. All right, and risk assessment will vary from market to market. Now, risks vary along the continuum of this environmental sensitivity. Most industrial products, we're looking on the left-hand side here, most industrial products are relatively insensitive to the environment. Industrial firms may find it easier to use the same marketing mix they do that they use in domestic markets, in international markets as well. Okay, there's not really that big of a difference going from one to another. Consumer products that are linked closely to other social or cultural variables are very sensitive to their environments. Okay, so for example, when Disney, this is the example that the book has, when Disney opened a theme park in France, the parks failed to consider local French customs, such as serving wine with meals, because Disney, that doesn't happen in the United States. The Euro Disney initially failed to meet its sales goals, but after adding local touches and customs like that, the park became much more successful. So we're talking about environmental sensitivity. We're not just talking about the environment, it's going green. What we're talking about is the culture and the area that your company and your products are surrounded by. And so you have to keep all of that into consideration as you're determining what you need to do and what you should be doing. And so make sure that you're aware of culture and customs and traditions that are going on so that you can include those in any decisions that you are making for your company or for your product. All right, and that brings us to the end of Chapter 3. Good luck, and I'll see you later.